It's a show that has half a face of Novocaine, but still feels the pain of Jalen Hurts criticism. It's the first hour, first things first.
Okay.
A lot of slander.
There's no slander, but there's a lot of controversy on the show. Gianna, we should put in a poll. Is Kevin Wildes?
We don't do polls.
We could.
We're not on Levitard. That's like when you do guest appearances.
All right, well then I don't know how we do it, but I just want to know if the audience put it in the comments on YouTube. Is Kevin Wildes an Eagles guy?
An Eagles guy?
Yeah.
That's different.
Okay, all right.
Are they my team? No. Do I rock with Jalen Hurts?
They're your NFC team.
Do you have more than one
doubt.
team?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're one.
Are they your second?
Patriots are your
Are they
team.
your second
They're
place
winning
team?
your team.
I like that. It depends. It moves every week.
Who's winning?
It's fluid.
Yes, fluid, exactly. Lions, all
A lot of things are
like
fluid.
the 49ers, they look good. We're starting with the Eagle has landed with a thud. Giants double up the champs 34-17. Philly loses their second game in a row. Jalen had gone 305 passes without an interception. That streak ended.
Okay.
Hurts last night, first 4 drives, looking good. Saquon got off quickly. Rest of the game, no points. Completion percentage was not terrible. But obviously, interception and passer rating is 63.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good reason why I don't care about it. That is 12 out of 19. That's 62%. That'd be fine. And I don't really care that much about completion percentage. So you're correct.
Why does it?
No, I was saying. All
right. Is the Eagles' offensive struggles on Jalen Hurts?
It is more on Hurts than any other player on the team. Now we can put the majority of it on the OC, but I think here is a fair statement about an offense quarterbacked by Jalen Hurts. He is extremely limited in certain areas as a passer. And because of that, if you don't have a real whiz of an offensive coordinator, like they had with Steichen, who, by the way, left there and then went 15-13 with Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson, and has now got Daniel Jones, hovering around Bruce Ballot, or a dominant all-time running game like they had with Saquon, you are going to suffer some of these droughts that the other talent on your team would indicate you shouldn't. Ben Solak, who, congrats to Ben, he's on paternity leave, but still putting out good tweets. Ben had this stat, and I think Hurts throwing 10 to 19 yards downfield, that intermediate, 11%. It's the lowest rate for a starter in 15 years. And this is, I bring up the Russell Wilson comps more about career trajectory than about style of play, but the Eagles' offense has devolved somewhat into checkdowns and, his version of a moonball.
Yeah.
And yesterday, Brew, he didn't hit those either. Mm-hmm. So I thought the end of the first half was butchered a bit. I thought that that was something situationally that was not good. Yeah. That is, to me, when you don't have timeouts, that's just got to be on the quarterback. And he didn't do it well. He missed a touchdown to Devontae. Great quarterbacks miss passes. Week 1, we saw Patrick miss a pass. I'm not going to kill him for that, but that's a tough miss. And
they may win the game if he hits it. I know it's still early. It was early in the third quarter, but now you're at 24-20.
Of course.
You got some momentum.
The game takes on a totally different feel if he hits it. And then the game ended up a blowout, but this next play, they're down 10, and A.J. Brown is open for a touchdown. He's wide open, and it's zero blitz, so there's not safety help. And instead, he goes there, and now the game's over. Yeah. So it's from game being very alive down 3 to game being over. And so they haven't been a great third down team as of late. We can show Brew their league ranks in things. Yeah. And it was very important for you, KW, last year that we not give all the credit to Saquon. That it's, hey, Jalen helps Saquon be great. Well, to me, the flip side of that coin is we can't now just be like, well, Saquon's not the same player. That's why the offense isn't good. And the offense, it's not that the offense is mediocre, Brew. The offense is horrible. And so, yeah, I think a lot of it's on the quarterback.
Look, when the offense is struggling, if you want to put most of the blame on the quarterback, certainly in most cases, it's fair. Because if the offense is cooking, even if the quarterback isn't like the only guy or the main guy, he gets a lot of credit. This is a little different because the offense was cooking last year and people still were questioning Jalen, most notably his best receiver, A.J. Brown. But yeah, I think that's fair. I do put a lot of blame on Patullo, and I'll get to a couple of other people. But Jalen, I would say this to Jalen, and it might be something you have to do in the offseason, but he has become, from the time he entered the league to now, he has improved his passing so much. I know he threw it fairly well at times in college and stuff, but he has really improved as a passer.
Sure.
But I would say that next step is to improve that intermediate game. Because you're right, like even at his best, a lot of times it's the dink and dunk, the check downs, or the long bombs, and that he does well. If he had that intermediate game, I think that would just open things up for him. So he definitely is to blame. I was going to show the miss on A.J. Brown and the things you mentioned, or Devontae Smith. But also, look, Saquon, and I put a lot of this on the offensive line. I don't think Saquon's washed, but he's got to take some of this. He's 3.3 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. He has actually had 2 seasons with the Giants where he averaged less than 4 yards a carry. And it wasn't like he didn't play. He played 13 games one year, 14 another year.
But they were after super high usage years.
So like he can be – I've always thought about him within games. He can be kind of, just 3 yards here, 2 yards, 4 yards, 1 yard. And then he breaks a 60-yarder. Yeah. But it also, if you look at his years in his career, it's kind of been like that as well. Maybe – unfortunately for the Eagles, this might be a down year for him.
Before you go, Wilds, guys, Saquon kind of comp or idea, and I wish I would have looked up an actual boxer to use this as a comp, because I don't think he's washed either. But I do think sometimes you see a boxer in his prime have a absolute 12-round war, and the next fight, he is not the same. And then, a year later, he's back to being who he is. And that, to me, is kind of a clumsier but a better comp. I don't think it's that, Saquon's career the rest of the way. But I think that amount of touches, and you're seeing it for maybe the offensive line as well. I read this afternoon, Josh didn't fact check this, so I'm just reading it, so I could be wrong. But the Eagles as a team last year ran the ball more than 700 times.
Oh, that everybody's tired?
And that everybody's a little beat up. That, you know what I mean? They're this big physical bully ball, team, and that everybody is, the offensive line, all of it. And Saquon, to me, would be a part of that because he is not. We're 6 games in. He's not the same player at the moment.
Last year, Brew, he had 176 yards against the Giants. His last 4 games, he's got 178 yards. Yeah. And there's an article on ESPN that it was about basically rest, and that Saquon talked to other great running backs. Like, you really need to sit down, and when you see these other guys working out, it's like, that's not you. You really need to chill out.
No question. I would put this on Patullo, too. You can try to get Saquon the ball in the passing game. Like, he's had 15 touches, fewer than 15 touches the last 2 games, first time since he's been an Eagle. So if he's not running it well, especially with Hurts checking down, get it to Saquon. I think he had 3 targets each of the last 2 games in the passing game. So maybe that's a way you can get him going. And let me just say this, too. A.J. Brown, I just think, because I'm going to put a little blame on him, too. You're not helping anybody with this little attitude in the locker room. And I know he was smiling like I'm being, I'm not causing anything. But when you say there's no meeting, and even
then
if
tweeted out after the fact, I didn't know what they were talking about. It was in the car.
We met at whatever. I'm just saying,
record, if they're passing each other in the parking lot, that counted as the meeting.
I thought yesterday, I thought maybe it was them meeting out on the way out of the facility, they just bumped into each
That's
other.
what AJ
and then
made
you
it
start
sound
talking
like. The
for a while.
reporting of
And
it
maybe they
was
did
that
talk
ended
for
up being
2
2 hours. So I don't.
Look, they could have.
that-
I mean,
that
it's
could
not
happen.
implausible that they're standing at the cars just talking.
And then
it goes
times
on
get away
for an
from
hour
you.
and a half, 2 hours.
Hour and a half.
No, I
It's
mean,
a long time.
Like,
But you're,
throw
but
me
you
the
know-
ball more.
But
Well,
your,
I mean,
your,
you know,
your
they're
bigger
friends
point that
too, and
AJ
talking
is
about other
not
things.
being helpful with this, I agree. Can I, KW?
Yeah.
You are the Hurts guy.
Yeah.
Do you? And I'm not trying to attack you. I know you're all drugged up on Novocaine and everything.
True.
How do you feel?
Moderately optimistic.
Okay.
Because here's what I want to see, and I don't know if we have the answer, or maybe we can ask Greg when he comes out. The Russell Wilson has the moon ball we got, because it's sort of like an arm strength thing, and the dink and dunks. Do we think that Jalen can't make those throws? Like he doesn't have the arm.
I've never.
I think
I've never seen him do it. At any point in his career, he's never thrived at it.
I just don't know if it's. But I need to know why. I don't understand
do it
the
here
why
and there.
behind
I mean,
it.
he's done it here and there, but just a consistent diet of it,
It's bad. It's over 10 yards is at like 36%. He's number 30. And
well, it's just
not great.
There is going to be, particularly in New York, and I know we're going to get to the Giants here. You know, they're on a Jackson Dart sugar high, but they need to right the ship in this regard as far as if they don't, when you look at the Eagles because a lot of my questions, which I can be pilloried for it, but it's fine. But it was, hey, the passing game is going to have to be better than last year because the running game won't be as good and the defense won't be as good, has happened. How will Jalen look when they are not playing from ahead in every second half, every game, you know what I mean, for 4 months? So far, he had the one.
Great, right,
he was the
Rams.
one game he was great against the Rams, and then it's been a little hit and miss. The NFC East quarterback hierarchy discussion is about 2 more good Jackson Dart games away from getting in a very uncomfortable place for you, KW.
Get out of town.
I'm just telling you what it's going to be.
Well, you wouldn't put him ahead of Jalen
No,
Hurts.
of course. I don't even know that I think Dart is necessarily going to be a great player. What I'm saying is Dak is on MVP ballots. Everybody loves Jaden Daniels. Those two teams' success seems to come from those 2 players. Right now, Hurts is considered, at the moment, I don't even want to say weak link, but the offense isn't working. He's a part of it.
They're 4-2.
Okay.
Right?
There's
a lot of hand-wringing for a team that's
right.
4-2.
I will give
and I
you
would say
that.
the offense is terrible. The offense, because everything's 29, 28, 30, except points, which is 17.
Which is below average, but
there
I
is
wouldn't put
something
it in
to be
a terrible
said
category.
for what you just said.
No, but if you're
right.
hold on, if you're 17th in points and 29th in yards,
I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying we should throw a parade.
It's been a bad offense, right?
It's been unsatisfactory.
Okay.
That being said, they're 4-2.
And every team has had a bad game. Detroit had Green Bay.
No.
obviously the
And right
Chiefs.
now, there does not look to be a great team in the whole league.
No.
Right?
Well,
Who?
I don't know. You
Who?
see the Patriots. You saw the Patriots.
Okay.
You throw away.
They lost to Knicks Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, you
That's
got it.
week 1. Week 1, we throw
You
away.
just
They're 4-1?
constantly throw week 1 out.
Well, we also had a bad game against the Steelers. But outside of that, we're doing pretty good. On the Giants side, Jackson Dart running and throwing with confidence. Aura arming. No. Yeah?
Aura arming. All right, that's pretty good, KW.
Scadaboo added 3 touchdowns, several headbutts. Brew, what did the Giants prove to you last night?
That guy and the other young guy, Cam Scadaboo, prove that they have the heart, the toughness, the guts, the charisma, the it factor to ignite a team in a city. Like, it was great. I mean,
Can we throw the third rookie in there, Abdul Carter?
Yeah.
That whole rookie class could be transformative.
And that's not even to mention last year's rookie, Malik Neighbors. So, but I am not, like you said about Dart, I'm not going to, after 3 games, one of which he was bad last week against the Saints, I'm not about to be like, oh, they definitely got their quarterback. It looks like they could because he does look good. And it's 3 games positive or negative. If it was 3 bad games, you wouldn't be like, oh, he's, So I'm just going to be a little cautious and patient on that. And Scatterboo, who I really liked him in college a lot too. And I hate to say, the way he plays, you wonder, man, how long is he going to last?
That's like a fair question.
I love the way he plays, but that doesn't have a long shelf life, and he's not a huge
Drew,
guy.
Look at him behind over your shoulder. I mean, he's upside down.
Right. There you go.
That's my choice.
But as you said, look, with all the young guys, and you threw in a couple more, plus these 2, the future could be bright. And lastly, I think this. I think if Dart continues to play well, Scatterboo does his thing here and there, if they win 6 or 7 games, but there's a good vibe, I think Dable and Joe Sheen, the GM, keep their jobs.
Well, I think that is probably correct, and that led to the only bad moment of last night for the Giants. And so I'll get to that in a second. Let me say, let me talk about Jackson Dart. If you guys remember when we were talking draft, Dart I said that if the Steelers were going to take a quarterback, Dart's the guy I would take and not Shador. I like Dart coming out of school. But I liked him in what I thought was a weak quarterback class. And the fact that I thought the Steelers could take him where they were drafting means I didn't look at him as a surefire thing. I think he is right now electric. I also think he's going to get himself hurt if he doesn't throttle it back. Scatterboo has to play that way. Scatterboo is the reason he fell in the draft was because he's not that fast, and he has one way to play, and that's fine. He's a running back. That is not fine for your quarterback. And I thought yesterday he was on 10, did get himself hurt. Dable then, I think Dable's going to get in trouble for this, for screaming, going in the blue tent, screaming at the doctor. Yeah. And, that can't happen. Right. And Dable has since apologized for it. And, you have moments, but I think he knows, like you were saying, Brew, this is the way I keep my job, is win a game like this and that kid be out there.
The whole team was on 10.
Correct. But here is where I will put some criticism at Dable's feet that I think is fair. After this moment, where he clearly feels on edge if Dart can't be out there, the very next possession, he calls these plays. And I know Dart's legs are a factor and useful, but this guy's not sliding. This guy, we had already seen him launch himself like a missile head first out of bounds that he'll probably get fined for. That part concerned, that's insane. It was great play, but it's categorically insane.
Yeah.
And he's also not as big as Josh Allen.
No. But
Cam Newton.
With that said, him doing that without Neighbors or Slayton and was really throwing some great balls. He got no stats for it, but the PI in the end zone was a perfect pass that I think would have been caught if there wasn't if Keely Ringo hadn't committed one of his 17 terrible plays of the night. And so I worry about Dart with this style, but they have some juice and they're fun. And when you look at them holistically, they have a great left tackle, in Andrew Thomas. I think moving forward, they will have a great receiver in Neighbors. They have potentially a couple great pass rushers in Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. Scatterboo is, I think, a good running back. I think he's a better story than running back, but fine. If Dart is good, you've checked off all your most important pieces of building a real football team, which is very exciting for the New York Giants.
Very tough schedule coming up.
Well, they do get the Eagles again in 2 weeks. That's good. Right now it is.
Head to the hardwood, where LeBron will miss 3 to 4 weeks due to sciatica, basically nerve pain around your lower back, buttocks, and legs. Will be first opening night he's ever missed. How concerning is this for the Lakers, bro?
Well, it's just one of the few first signs of the age hitting. I know anybody can get sciatica, but it is.
It's an old guy injury.
Yeah, it's more common.
Sciatica is you're in your 40s and your ass hurts injury from sitting down.
So I think it's concerning in that regard. And I know LeBron hasn't been able to work out as hard or as often in the offseason as he would have liked. And so that's frustrated him a little bit. So these are just signs. Like even if he comes back in 3 to 4 weeks from this, in a few weeks it could be something else.
Yeah.
That's why no one's ever played 23 years like he's doing now. So this could be a year. And the difference with LeBron, all the older players have felt, if not sciatica, something where they just couldn't keep going. The difference with him is that when he does play, he's still excellent. Like, he's not averaging 12 points a game. He's a 24-point scorer. But for the Lakers, if the age finally hits him, even if he's playing well when he's there, but he's not there as much, that's it. Like, with a healthy LeBron playing great, I don't think they're not the favorites in the West. They're a legit team in that contending mix. Mm-hmm. Without him consistently playing great and being there, then they're a playoff team, I think, with skinny Luka playing well, but that's about it. That's their ceiling.
Go, KW.
I echo what Bruce said. I also have an announcement to make.
Wow.
I might go, and I'm not a big LeBron critic in the grand scheme of things.
No, not at all.
No.
I might go 0 for season on LeBron criticism. And just go pure appreciation. And I always found that tweet, who always sends that tweet?
Kevin O'Connor.
Shoot, because I like Kevin O'Connor.
Oh.
I always found that tweet to be a little, don't you appreciate him?
Right. People don't know the tweet. It's basically, I don't even.
Whatever it is. Like,
don't take LeBron
Don't take LeBron for granted.
Yeah.
But this, it's probably right. And I'm like, you know what? This might be the final run. And I remember I was looking at like tickets this year. I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to take my son Russell and Billy to see LeBron. This might be it. So I'm going to go 0 for LeBron criticism. Well, now, do they have a chance at winning the championship? No.
Even with him, like,
I think that's more of an indictment on Luka, if you feel that way. I disagree with you.
That you think they can make a run to the championship?
I think that. Does
that count as a criticism?
No,
okay.
because it's about
streak.
No, I think that if you have Joker, Giannis, Luka, and a functional supporting cast, you're a contender. I don't believe the Bucks right now have a functional supporting cast. I think the Lakers have a functional supporting cast. So to me, whether or not the Lakers are or aren't a contender, to me, is more about what caliber of player you consider Luka than LeBron at this point. Because
when Luka got there with Kyrie,
right? And Luka got to a conference finals with nobody and got to the NBA finals with Kyrie, and nothing against Kyrie, but it wasn't like a super team around it. On the LeBron front, so he's reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Doesn't mean he's back in 3 to 4 weeks. The glass half full version of this is the best thing for the Lakers to win a championship is LeBron plays 50 games anyway.
Maybe less.
Right, maybe less. And so I don't necessarily think him missing games early is actually bad for them. Maybe it also gives Austin Reeves an opportunity to get his mojo back after a bad postseason. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Which I think he would.
Which I think he will as the second option. Yeah. I think that part's good. I also think that this is, as a basketball fan and obviously a LeBron's fan, this is sad because he's never missed one of these moments. He has never missed a playoff game. His team has been scheduled to play on Christmas Day 19 times. He has played in 19 games. He has had, up to this point, 22 opening nights. He has played in 22. There has never been a mark your calendar moment LeBron's team is playing and he hasn't played.
Yeah.
And now there is. And you know what I mean? And there is a reason Bruce said no one's made it to year 23. Only 7 guys ever have played an age 41 season, and only Kareem averaged 10 a game, and he averaged 10.4. Like, LeBron is already kind of breaking all of these. He's the oldest. Everything is going to be LeBron, and this does suck as far as what it means for the Lakers. I agree with Brew. If he's fully healthy and 90% of the player he was last year come the playoffs, they're viable. But we have no way of knowing.
And it's you mentioned the criticism, and I'll be quick. That, in that sense, LeBron's a victim of his own greatness. Like if he was averaging 15 points last year and 14, it would be more of a farewell. Oh, let's celebrate this great player everywhere he went.
That's right.
But he's still in the mix. Like
you got to give us
he still
20.
might beat your team in the playoff. So there's
last Christmas
people are looking at him as almost as if he's still in his prime to some degree.
He and Steph had an all-time duel. Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he scored 37, Steph scored 40 maybe. Like, it was great. And so, he is still held to a great player standard.
Last 2 years, 71 and 70 games played, so pretty good. Nick, do you think the Chiefs deserve to be favored? They've already been home underdogs twice.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised this one went the other way.
Well, yeah, but they haven't been home underdogs since the tackle that turned the tide.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And so, there is that piece of it. I guess technically they have been actually, the Ravens game, but America didn't recognize that the offense is back. And we saw it in the Ravens game. That's fine throughout the Ravens game. That Jags defense has been what's carried them all year. They moved the ball at will. They scored 28. Patrick made a big mistake, and they lost the game. They made a lot of un-Chiefs-like plays on special teams, the penalties, the interception. But the offense is back to moving the ball at will. I think it will only be better. And I have a question for the group, because I don't want to be here Monday angry. We all are aware of the Lions injury report, right?
Yes.
We're all aware that the corners are banged up and the safeties are banged up. Beating the Lions still is a great win, right?
Great.
Is there any score they have to reach, or it's just beat the Lions?
This would be a great
Okay.
win.
3-0
do what
is
was done a
impressive.
few years ago when Travis Kelce missed that game and the Lions beat him. We're not going to do that.
And Christmas.
I definitively did not do that, and I can't. My Super Bowl championship rings are blocking my hearing on that, Greg. I absolutely did not make an excuse there. But I'm just asking. So, I think the Chiefs right now are going to, at home, take care of business by at least 2.5 points, because right now I like the matchup of the Chiefs offense against the Lions defense. And so, I think they do deserve to be favored against what everybody thinks is the best team in football right now.
No, they shouldn't be favored. Now, they're the Chiefs. They can win. But I think the only reason to favor them is just looking at the history. It's Patrick Mahomes. They're great. Historically, we're going to favor them at home. But right now, look, I think that Jags defense is good, but I think its best thing is taking the ball away. It can be moved on, run on and thrown on, but they've gotten a lot of takeaways. But, Detroit is clicking. Four straight wins. I know some of them haven't been great teams, but still, 4 straight wins. Goff is clicking. Dan Campbell is not like – I'm sure he's going into this feeling like, of course, we just want to win, but we want to make a statement. And not just to the Chiefs, to the whole league, that we are here and we are back. And so I look, Rasheed is not yet back. With Xavier, who was at one point questionable this week, like that helps, but especially against that depleted backfield for Detroit. But I think the way Detroit has been playing, the fact that the Chiefs have already lost at home, it's not like you can say, oh, they won't lose in Arrowhead. And Detroit beat them in Arrowhead a couple years ago. And so, I think Detroit should be favored.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, they shouldn't be favored, the Chiefs being the no. However, I do understand it, and I don't agree with you in terms of their being favored because of their history. I think that's a piece of it, but I think more so it's what you said. Like their offense, we're starting to see them turn that page on how that offense looks. And I think when you look at that and you see a defense that is hampered with injuries, you're like, okay, Chiefs at home. They just suffered a big loss to the Jags Monday night, prime time. Patrick Mahomes was a huge reason why, because of that interception, pick 6. You kind of feel like they're going to come out with something to prove against an opponent that everybody, to your point, is saying the best in the league. However, Detroit has been here before. They've played with a plague of injuries on that defense all last year. And if this were the playoffs, I would have greater concern. But regular season, there is something that Dan Campbell has the ability to do that most coaches don't. And that is not allow his team to have a lull regardless or despite
I
the
agree
opponent
with that.
that they're
I think
playing.
they're going to be locked in. And I think that, but I also, you guys joke I'm dead serious about tackle that turn the tide, but it also is that, they played 20 quarters, and that was 10 quarters in. It has been, maybe it's coincidental, Mahomes has been a different guy since then. And that right-hand column is like the Mahomes we all got used to the first 5 years of his career. As far as the prolific passing, the passer rating, the yards per attempt, the deep ball coming back thanks to the emergence of Tyquan Thornton of all people.
Whatever it takes.
Right.
No, he's looked good.
And here is why, the other reason, just from a gambling perspective before we move on, KW, that I'm not surprised. Vegas is back all the way in on Kansas City. Did you see the Super Bowl odds this morning?
Yeah, this is something.
The Chiefs now have better Super Bowl odds than Philly. The Chiefs are 4th best Super Bowl odds. The Bills are plus 475, deservedly, and what's baked in there is they're a big favorite to be the 1 seed right now, and the Chiefs obviously right now are staring at a wild card potentially, as their path. But for them to be, right there with neck and neck with Green Bay and just barely behind Philly, and the favored over a Lions team that is one of the only teams ahead of them, that to me speaks to that at least the gambling public is just like last year. The gambling public wasn't in love with the Chiefs team that never lost but didn't look that impressive. Mm-hmm. The gambling public seems to react to just the Chiefs offense. Does the offense look good even if they lose a game? That gives them more faith in Kansas City than winning ugly games like they were last year.
Okay. Cowboys at Panthers, Sunday at 1 on Fox. Cowboys had back-to-back A games from Professor Broussard. Brew, what would a third straight A game mean for Dallas if they impress you against the Panthers?
Well, first of all, what would be an A game? Obviously a W.
Okay, you're telling me. I thought you were asking.
30-ish points. I'm actually thinking more than 30.
We put their GPA
2.6
That's pretty
30-ish points
minus.
And 20 or less for Carolina. And I'm going to give Carolina
blowout.
a little, that's an A game. I mean, a win is a win. If they win by a point, fine. But an A game, that's what that has to look like. And if they are to do that, then you know what I say? I need a 4th straight A game. Because next week, they got Washington.
On Fox.
That would be the game where you really make a statement. They win this game. They're supposed to beat Carolina. They beat Washington. Now, they actually are in play for that division.
Yes.
With Philly looking, 4-2, just lost their last 2 games. Washington has played well when Jaden's there. If the Cowboys beat them, now, they're a playoff threat for sure and actually a threat to win that division.
See, for me, like a third straight A game would be impressive because that means, to your point and how you have laid out what the A game would look like and would need to happen for it to be considered an A game, the defense will have to have played relatively good, meaning stifling that offense in Carolina and then Dak being Dak and what we've seen. I think they're capable of that. And if they get that done for a third straight week, I don't need necessarily the 4th week because going into this season, you would have deemed them as a tomato can.
Yes.
And so
that's still on the board.
Exactly.
And if you beat Carolina, that doesn't mean it's off the board.
But what it does mean is I'm better than what everybody expected me to be. And now they're going to have greater expectations of me when the next week comes, when we do have a team that you feel like, oh, let's see what they really are. They feel like we can beat anybody right now because of the performance that they were able to capture and put on tape against the Green Bay Packers. So for me, it would be very impressive for this group to have a third straight solid offensive and defensive performance. It would be great.
Yeah, and so if they have your definition of an A game, Brew, which is they score in the 30s and the Panthers are held 20 or below.
18.
Yeah, something like that. Then they're not a tomato can. Because that's what they are doing too. If you blow out the tomato cans, you might not be a great team, but you know what I mean? You're not a tomato can. And so I had the exact same analysis as you, which is this is a nice little precursor. And the Cowboys, if Coach Mangini were here, he'd be warning us about, them thinking what we're thinking, which is our big game is a week from now against Washington. So they have to be careful of that. Carolina, is feeling, I guess, better about itself, getting a win. And so
somehow blew out Atlanta.
Right. And so that game against Washington on Fox, America's Game of the Week, would be a very instructive game for both of those teams because there's two possibilities with Philadelphia, right? They write themselves.
Sure.
This is a blip. They had won 20 out of 21, and they're going to go 13-4, 12-5, and be fine. If that's the case, then Cowboys and Washington, there might only be one playoff spot available for the two of them.
Yeah.
You know what? And so that becomes so important. The other one is that Philly is an early supernatural funk. They're going to lose a few more. Then Cowboys Washington is to potentially be really in the divisional race.
Yeah.
Either way, it will feel like a total missed opportunity if they go into that game 2-3-1 instead of 3-2-1. They've got to go handle business.
Can I bring the Cowboys down a peg?
What?
They haven't yet beaten the good team. Their best outing is a tie.
But against your Super Bowl pick.
Right. It was a good game, but you tied. They beat the Giants with Russ, all right, not Jackson Dart. They beat the Jets. And then if they beat Carolina, I'm just saying, let's not. They're not out of. They're still tomato can adjacent.
Oh.
Even if they blow out.
Well, let's see. Right, but if they blow out.
Because they got blown out by the Bears.
Well, the Bears might
Who
be
are
good.
darn.
That's the
in
problem.
the tomato can.
Here's the problem with the
neighborhood.
NFL this year is there are 4 teams, maybe 5, that we know are horrible, and then everybody else about the same.
It's just the Lions.
It's a weird year so far.
The Lions are good.
Well,
right,
we'll
but
see.
what if
But
the
Lions are the only
Green
team
Bay
with a-
beat the.
But the
I know
Lions are.
It was
the
a
team
regular
that-
season
the team
game.
that
I know it
you're-
was week 1, but it was
No,
still a
but
regular
the
season
Packers
game.
are good.
But
the Lions are the only team that have a quality. Who else has just a one, pretty good loss? Loss against
you
a
would
great
say
team.
the Bills.
Lost to a team
You
that
would.
lost to the
I
Raiders.
would.
It's not as quality yet.
Yeah.
That's yes, exactly.
Right.
The
Maybe
Chiefs
the
have
month
nothing but good losses. Just too many of them. It's true. Chiefs might lead the league in excellent losses.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.